Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya. Hope you all are happy and healthy. A very good evening to one and all present here. In behalf of Nopani Institute of Management Studies, I, Shomana Nyogi, Assistant Professor here, welcome all the delegates and emissaries to the third day of the webinar series Pre and Post-COVID Lockdown Scenario in the Healthcare Sector, a Comparative Study. In today's session, we are here to discuss and gain insights on the topic which is at the epicenter of this unprecedented global pandemic challenge, that is the healthcare sector. To begin the session, I would like to invite our principal sir, Dr. Shubir Ghosh, to put forward his point of views. Dr. Ghosh is having over 20 years of experience in academics and a plethora of publications. Sir, kindly put forward your point of views.
Good afternoon to you all. Our respected Director Madam is yet to join in our session, and my colleague faculty members, my beloved students, and the guests, those who have participated in this webinar. So I would like to welcome all. I, on behalf of Nopani Institute of Management Studies, would like to congratulate the participants, those who have joined, and I also welcome to the organizers, faculty members for organizing such event. Actually, at this moment, it is very much pertinent actually to have such type of webinar. As far as the healthcare, since this webinar is on the pre and post COVID lockdown scenario in healthcare sector, healthcare industries, a comparative study. So here the speakers actually, they will be sharing their views. They will make the comparison pre and post COVID sessions in healthcare sector. Healthcare sector, the healthcare professionals, they pay their attention. They contribute their efforts in treating the patients and all. So as far as the healthcare sector is concerned, it is very much essential part of our life in the society. So all of us, we are in need of the help of this healthcare sector. Always we go to hospitals or different sectors, different organizations. I mean that healthcare organizations, we get the treatment. But this post-COVID, this COVID-19 actually, this coronavirus, so that has changed this system a lot. What change that COVID has, because of COVID, it has taken place. Everything has become online now. So this is a thing that can be treated as the opportunities. And there are certain threats also. Health workers are in pressure now. And another side, the non-COVID patients, those who are suffering from other than the COVID disease, means coronavirus affected people, they are now not getting enough bed. They are not getting the attention of the doctors. Doctors are also scared a little bit to treat those patients, whether they are corona affected or not. So that is a type of things that has become a threat to the patient, those who are non-COVID affected. But on the another side, it is also opportunities. Now the patients don't have to be on the queue to enlist their names for diagnosing the disease to a doctor. Everything is online 1-2 days before that can be done. Now it has given an opportunity to the learners. Learners means those who are taking the courses of healthcare mainly. So they will be getting opportunities because of this COVID. So there will be many new hospitals is yet to be established, and many workers are yet to be recruited by those hospitals, because now their help is very much essential, So this has become an opportunity. But there are certain things in the sense that besides those healthcare, there are some other sectors also, where the opportunities of employment is little threat at this moment. But after 1.5 years or 2 years, it will improve. There is no doubt at all. That will be improved. All the situations, everything will be normal at this moment. So at this moment, the students, they should take up certain courses, whether it is healthcare related courses, because healthcare related courses have enough opportunities to get job in different healthcare sectors. They can enhance their qualifications, they can get better job. Those opportunities are always there. So that can be, in that angle, this coronavirus or this COVID lockdown era has given an opportunity to the learners to get employment in better organizations and all. But that is it, that which I have explained, state for the health workers, state for the patient, other patients, those who are other than suffering from, not from the COVID, say they are suffering from this corona affected, non-corona affected patients. For them it is a threat. So with these few words I would like to conclude. Once again I would like to welcome to the participants, those who have joined in this webinar. Also I welcome the organizers or students. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insights and for enlightening us with the opportunities. Moving on, we have our beloved students as our eminent speakers for the evening. Now I would like to call Mohit Shah of BHM 6th semester, a final semester student, to present his insight on today's topic. Mohit, please.
Thank you, Shobana ma'am, for having me. A 73 years old cancer patient died in Kolkata, not because of corona, but because of not receiving treatment on time. Not only that, many patients are dying every day because they are not getting proper treatment on time. Hello everyone, myself Mohit Shah from BHM 6th semester, and I am here to share my views on the topic regarding hospital operations, a new journey. I would request sir to please share my PPT. Thank you, sir. First of all, we have to know what hospital operations is. A hospital's operation constitute its service to the patients. These hospital services include outpatient consultation, diagnostics, therapeutic, surgeries, counseling, and many more. Like human body, hospital is a complex organization having innumerable number of departments within single room. If any one of the departments starts dysfunctioning, entire system will break down, just like our body. And herein comes the importance of hospital operations. Corona pandemic has entirely changed the view of looking into this sector. People are having fear of visiting hospitals. After all, this is a palace full of disease. This fear can only be removed if operations of hospital ensures trust and safety of patients. After corona, changes in hospital operations. This pandemic leads entire hospital operations to undergo vast change in order to help and cater the people at large. There are some major operations and their changes. One is OPD consultation. Previously, patients along with their family members used to visit hospitals regarding their OPD consultations. After this pandemic, this won't be possible in the previous manner, since the main focus of hospital is to protect the patients from the infection. In that case, first OPD consultation should be provided through telecommunication until and unless the consultant advises the patient to visit the hospital. The further consultations should be provided through the same admission process. The patient used to visit the hospital along with his or her family members in case of admission to the hospital. Manual admission forms used to be filled by the patient party, which usually takes an hour or two. But considering the current situation, keeping the patient party in hospital for an hour is risky. So online admission forms should be availed to the patients, which needs to be filled by them. This filled admission form, once reviewed by hospital staff committee, allows them to send confirmation message about the date of admission, time and day of admission. Average length of stay. Average length of stay, or ALS, is one of the major operational factors in preventing the spread of disease. In order to prevent the patient from the disease, they need to be shifted to their home in case of minor problem or in case of rehabilitation procedure where doctors used to monitor them regularly. Movement of records. Considering the pandemic, all patient records should be digitalized in order to stop their movement from wards to administrative area, which plays a major role in keeping hospital staffs safe from the corona infection. Now, quality control inspection. The quality department of hospital aims to ensure the quality standards of the hospital. This process involves visit of hospital staffs to different wards, which might be risky. So the hospital authority needs to conduct the inspection either through respective nursing in charge, floor manager, or through digital platforms. Discharge process. Like admission, discharge is one of the vital operational process, which needs to be quick, rapid, and paperless in order to cater the patients at large. Now I would like to conclude my entire presentation. The hospital industry faced huge challenges during this pandemic. All private healthcare sectors are facing great financial crisis. Keeping this financial crisis in mind and considering the investment that were made during corona period, the hospital needs to function at its peak to overcome the situation. Executive Chairman of Asia Healthcare Holdings says that corona has exposed 73 years of underinvestment in Indian healthcare infrastructure, which totally signifies the importance of future expansion. For the time being, from behalf of every hospital staff, we might change our operations, but we won't stop our services. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you so much for excellently explaining to us the pre and the post-COVID scenario of the hospitals. Moving forward, I would like to call Shushmita Ganguly of again BHM 6th semester to put forward her insights on the topic. Shushmita, please, you can now start. Please continue.
Yeah. Thank you, Shromanana, for the opportunity. A 70-year-old lady had come to Fortis last year because she wanted to have a spine surgery. She delayed this condition for long, but eventually was bedridden. But she was completely rid of pain after the surgery at Fortis. But few months ago, Mr. Khan wanted to have a consultation in Kolkata's Narayana. He was hailing from Bangladesh, but he had to go for online consultation. So we can see two constructing pictures here, and this is not only the story of Mr. Khan, but a lot of patients. I am Sushmita Ganguly from BHM 6, and I would like to talk about medical tourism before and after lockdown, a comparative study. And I would like to request for my presentation now. The question that arises at first is that what actually medical tourism is. Medical tourism refers to people traveling abroad to obtain medical treatment. In the past, this usually referred to those who travel from less developed countries to major medical centers in highly developed countries for treatment unavailable at home. However, in recent years, it may equally refer to those from developed countries who travel to developing countries for lower priced medical treatments. India had considerable tremendous growth in the medical tourism market. We shall discuss now the USPs or advantages that made India one of the preferred medical tourism spots. Low cost of treatment. With the cost of treatment in the developed Western remaining high, the Indian medical tourism sector has an edge because of the cost-effective medical care. Ease of getting medical visa. The introduction of e-medical visa and e-medical attendant visa for travelers has been a game changer for India. Attraction of incredible India. India's cultural and heritage diversity along with quality healthcare offers a mix of leisure, luxury and good healthcare for the patients coming to India. Less wait time. The wait time for surgery and medical treatment in India are non-existent compared to Western nations, where patients have to wait for weeks or even months for life-saving treatment. However, post-corona, medical tourism will bring about a lot of changes in the way this business was traditionally performed. Let's have a look at the trends which may emerge in the business tourism, in the medical tourism industry after coronavirus outbreak. New visa policy. India might come up with their own set of rules. Visas may ask for health certificate from designated institutions, which may make visa processing more difficult for health travelers. More waiting time. Since the policies and the rules will be made strict, the waiting time for the patients will be increased. Focus on hygiene and personalized treatments. International patients' focus will shift to choose a country where there is civic sense of continuing social distancing and personalized treatment. India will be focusing more on hygiene and personalized treatment. Telemedicine and teleconsults. These two remote healthcare technologies will gain most traction in times to come. Medical second opinions and intentional OPDs both can be very well organized through the platforms. Flying out doctor program. Instead of flying out the patients, doctors will be flown out from the countries, and this will be opted for not so complicated procedures and will result in reduction of unnecessary travel of patients. Webinars, CMEs or continued medical sessions have been organized across borders to create a connect between the medical fraternity. With emerging COVID-19 situation, more and more of such sessions may take place over online rather than a live CME. Regional medical tourism hubs. Regional medical tourism will emerge and consolidate their position. India with better healthcare infrastructure may prove to be an alternate choice of destination to its neighborhood population. More focus will be given to alternate treatments like Ayurveda, naturopathy and yoga. To conclude, I would like to say that medical tourism industry was one of the first few businesses to get impacted, but would revive because there will be an influx of patients awaiting treatment for chronic disorders and lifestyle diseases which may have piled up. However, the government must make new policies and take measures like recognizing medical value travel companies as an independent industry, providing immediate financial stimulus and support, and involving COVID Impact Council along with FICCI to support the MVT industry. More investments in healthcare budget will help the industry to get its glory back. I would like to conclude with a very familiar saying, that is, change is the only constant. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shushmita, for providing us a crisp insight on the medical tourism scenario. Now, we would like to call our last speaker for the evening, Debojyoti Banerjee of BHM 4th semester. Debojyoti, please, you can now put your points. Continue.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone, to my respected teachers and my respectable seniors and my loving juniors. Hello, myself Debojyoti Banerjee from BHM 4th semester, and my focus will be on post and pre-medical treatment in COVID lockdown era, the war which we all want to win. First of all, I want to salute and pay my tribute to all those corona frontline warriors, those who are engaged to eliminate this virus. I am taking you through the PPT. Sir, please, PPT please. Thank you, sir. So, from Harrison to Davidson, there is no mention of vaccine in their book of medicine for the curable of any flu from Swiss flu to Hong Kong flu. The only thing is social distancing. Let's come. I will introduce the system from my PPT. Patients are not eagerly welcome. Rejection to the patient. Hospital is the place where God lives. We all know. Simply, it can be said as the Makkah of medical science. But mankind is being gradually declined from this place because of this current pandemic, where patients are being gradually faced rejection from the hospitals. Number 2, fears among the staffs. The day when WHO declared COVID-19 as a pandemic, then after there was a fear among the non-medical staffs for this pandemic situation, as this virus may affect them as they don't know who has corona positive, the patient or the patient party in the hospital. No patient delight. Patients are not treated very well in this lockdown period because half of the hospital have been found in quarantine, and hence it is not possible to treat the patient other than COVID-19 to give the maximum patient delight, and the full manpower is focused on the isolation ward as COVID patients are in absolute danger. Home care service. Fear among the patient. There is a huge fear not only in the patients but also in the patient party. If there is to visit any hospital, it's supposed to be a myth that visiting a hospital makes COVID positive. Telemedicine demands. There is a huge demand of telemedicine and online medicine in this lockdown period, as government warned everyone not to come out from their home, and also for the fear of corona, this makes a huge demand in telemedicines. Dialysis patients are in fear, as many renowned doctors and research found that patient with kidney problem has a high rate of corona positive, as they have to visit multiple times to hospital for dialysis. Who have financial stability for begin the procedure at home, they are gradually shifting it to for taking no chance of corona. Sterilization. Sterilization refers to any process that removes, kills or deactivates all form of life and other biological agents like prions present in a specific surface, object or fluid. Maintaining WHO guidelines. Every country is following the standard guidelines of WHO for the sterilization. Indian government issued an apex by modifying with ICMR and WHO, which gives a huge response on this ground. No use of bed covers. No reuse of linen such as no bed covers, pillow covers, coverings and other things that are to be used after the patient is being discharged, because if the old patient somehow affects with corona, then the new patient can also have a higher chance of getting positive. 3. Proper disposal. As every hospital follows the proper disposal bags, so there is no possibility of spreading infection. But due to this pandemic situation, they must dispose all used items with highly care to perform the infection and spreading control. PPE is given. Every medical staffs are being regularly given personal protective equipment for fighting with the virus. COVID rapid test, polymerase chain reaction. Rapid test. WHO guidelines orders for a rapid test as the affected person can be quarantined with immediate effect. Mass prevention. Lockdown is being ordered for no mass gathering as it can affect a whole mass, and also to keep the population detached from any certain publics. Testing hub. Kerala made a testing hub at every junction of every colony or housing complex, as this is India's first testing hub that helped to test the whole population with short time span and to take the necessary steps against the positive people. Hospital turned down many patients. Hospital rejected patients. As I have told from my previous slide about it, so I am focusing on the next point. SARS-CoV-2. From Wuhan virus to novel coronavirus 2019 to COVID-19 virus, the name of the new coronavirus that first appeared in China has been evolving to its official destination. SARS-CoV-2, Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2. But where did the final name come from? How does such a name become official, and who makes it so? But WHO breaks all the suspense and announced in their official website that the official name of COVID-19 is SARS-CoV-2. Closing of hospitals for SARS-CoV-2. Many private hospitals are closed due to the full hospital sanitization program, because if a patient is affected with corona, then every minor thing has to be sanitized as instructed by ICMR and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Thank you. And I am concluding my PPT with my thought is, we shall overcome this war with smile everyone's face, and we shall overcome it someday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you have correctly pointed out we shall all overcome this pandemic situation. People who have joined us, To introduce them, our Madam Dr. Shabnam Agarwal is the Director Education of Nopani Group of Institutions. Dr. Agarwal has received her master's degree in orthopedic physiotherapy from University of Wales, Cardiff, and her PhD from Curtin University, Australia in the year 2011. She is regularly invited as panelist, speaker or moderator in regional and national and international conferences, and she also lectures and conducts workshops on various subjects pan-India and overseas.
Good afternoon, students and all the faculty members. This is Dr. Shabnam Agarwal, and I'm sorry, I needed to introduce myself, I guess, because I'm wearing this mask. And for anyone who works in the hospital today, this is who you get to see, and this is how you get to see them. So you may pass someone you know very well in the corridor, and if you recognize them or they recognize you, they try and make an effort to identify themselves, and if they cannot, you just pass by them not knowing who you met or who you passed by. So tomorrow, when you work in the hospital, I hope for your sake and for the world's sake, COVID will be over. But it will be a lesson learned by anyone and everyone who's working in the healthcare sector. Today in the hospital, this is how we look. We are using a N95 mask and we cover our hair. We put on our glasses, which is right here, as you know. And of course, when we go to see COVID patients, then you know what the entire PPE is about. So this is what I would do in the OPD, and this is how I would look. And if I am in the COVID ward, then I would be dressed up in the PPE, very, very unrecognizable. So what's the feeling? Nothing. I mean, initially it was very exasperating wearing the mask. Now the mask is normal. You don't feel anything about the mask, despite the fact it's an N95 mask without a respirator. But yes, when you wear the PPE, it is very uncomfortable. But let's say there are people who are wearing it for 4 to 5 hours and they've got used to wearing the PPE. The one thing that I wanted to tell you is that, you know, during this entire lockdown period, a lot of doctors, especially consultants, discontinued because patients were not coming and they were not required. Only primarily the ICU doctors were required, and consultants were required as and when a necessity arose. But do you know who was permanently there in the hospital? The coordinators and the managers, which is someone like you who will graduate. You will become one of them, and they have been working round the clock to keep the hospital going. So every coordinator on every floor, I wouldn't say there's one coordinator, there are plenty of coordinators, and the managers who are streamlining, who are making things work, who are ensuring that the nurses get all the information, the doctors get all the information, who are ensuring that the PPE kits are there so that when we go and see the patients, we have everything available to us, who are there to give us information about donning and doffing the PPE, who are there to coordinate between the patient and the patient's relatives. These are the people who are running the hospital, of course, besides the dedicated healthcare staff. So if this is the future of healthcare, or if COVID goes away and we're looking at another virus coming, and I hope it never ever happens, then your role, you know, when you become hospital coordinators and administrators, is the maximal role. And be prepared to work in those circumstances and emerge from that circumstance as a winner of the situation. So, you know, when the Prime Minister said that, you know, for doctors, nurses and people working in the hospital, ring a bell or, you know, thali bajao or whatever, I hope when people were doing that around you and you were doing it yourself, I hope you remember that you are the future of the healthcare industry, and you are the ones for whom the bells will chime one day, and people will be, thali pitoing one day. So, having said that, please remember that a hospital is not only doctors, nurses, and other staff members. The hospital has to be coordinated, it has to be managed, it has to be it has to have a lot of PR, it has to have a lot of systems in place, and the only people who do that are you guys when you graduate. So all the best, and I hope this webinar is a great webinar.
Now, I would like to call my colleague and HOD of BHM department, Professor Annesha Nag, who has over 6 years of academic experience, and also she is an experienced professional in the healthcare sector. Annesha madam, please.
Thank you, Somana madam, for giving me this opportunity to conclude this insightful session on pre and post-COVID lockdown scenario in healthcare sector. Okay, as pointed out by our respected principal sir, to take this pandemic as a challenge and cash on every opportunities we get in this time. Sir has also reputed us the future of healthcare industry as well as the job opportunities in the sector. Thank you, sir, for your insight. Moving on, we had developed the idea of hospital operations in brief and understood how the pandemic has led the entire hospital operations, including OPD consultation, admission and discharge process, average length of stay, movement of records, and infection control to undergo a vast change in order to help and cater to the people at large. In other side, medical tourism of India is also witnessing vast change in terms of visa policies, hygiene and personalized treatment, telemedicine, fly out doctors program, webinars, in comparison to the previous case of getting this medical visa, a lower cost of treatment and less wait time. Lastly, we gathered some knowledge about the guideline of WHO in terms of various ongoing issues that are affecting our life during this COVID-19 hard time. As we come to the end of today's session, I would like to thank entire Noparni fraternity for making this webinar a success. Each and every contribution for our students, teachers, staffs, technical team and administrators have helped us to conduct such interactive sessions. Thanks to each one of you, and I would urge to stay safe and keep your dear ones safe in this difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
To all the participants who have joined the meeting, to gain your certificates, as you all might have been very acquainted with the situation, you have to participate in a small quiz, and you have to provide your details correctly, and your e-certificate will be emailed to you. The link to the quiz has been provided in the chat box, and those who have do not have the access to the chat box, they can get the link in their emails as well. So I would request you all to participate in the small quiz and get your e-certificates. If anyone has any issues or any queries, they can now unmute themselves and ask us. Or if they have any questions related to the entire session, they can now ask questions or any of the difficulties, anything they have. Please, anyone?
So I have one question. That there was on PPT that topic that was on medical tourism. So that speaker actually,
That
I would
was
like
by
to know
Susmita.
the Susmita. Okay, I would like to know that medical tourism. What, as far as my knowledge is concerned, medical tourism means what I understand. Then when somebody goes somewhere for treatment outside, so that becomes a medical, he or she becomes a medical tourist. So when he goes outside for treatment, becomes the medical tourism or medical tourist, like that. So whether this medical tourism in case of India is expanding due to this COVID situation, whether India will be gaining something because of this COVID situation in terms of medical tourism, whether it will be benefited for India or not.
Thank you very much, sir, for this insightful question. I would like to say that India was one of the major potential players in the medical tourism market before this, and it had a market worth of 9 billion. Obviously, due to Corona, it was one of the first industries that got affected, but hopefully, if the government takes some good measures and the healthcare budget is increased, it is going to again regain back to its old position where it was. India was preferred more than the West because obviously because of the various reasons that I discussed in the presentation as well. And we have seen a lot of payments. We generally, when we have also done internships in the hospital, we have seen a lot of patients even from Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and even from the West coming to India for various reasons. So hopefully India needs to upgrade some of its policies and take new measures and increase the budget, and I'm sure it will regain back because a lot of healthcare specialists had said that India has a lot of potential in the medical tourism market, and I'm very hopeful that India will get back to its old position.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone from our guest who has any questions to any of our speakers or any queries regarding the session?
There are some hospital management students. Many, yes, please ask.
Sir, I just want to congratulate everyone for this wonderful session. I really don't have that much knowledge about the inside of the hospital, what's happening there. But as far as my knowledge goes, and I get the news from TV and newspaper, and also I visit a few hospitals during this pandemic. But the situation now is improving. Now the doctors or the hospital paramedics or the nurses, they don't now fear about the patient having virus or not having virus. Now everyone is working really very hard to get the situation better. And as we can also see from the recovery rates, which we are getting every day update we are getting on TV, the recovery rates are now higher than the infection rate. So I hope that this situation will improve. And also now the hospitals are getting safer and safer day by day. And in future also I can see the role of hospital management students in hospital management as a professionals in the in fight for this type of pandemics which happens now, and maybe again it may again come in future also. They are really, the hospital management guys are really the front warriors in this corona situation which is happening, because whenever a patient comes to a hospital, the hospital staff, or you can say the front office manager or the front office staff, they only are the person who do everything for the staff. Even few days back I visited Bellevue Hospital for a meeting. So there also I have seen there is a fever clinic there, and the person who is sitting in the front of the fever clinic is a young guy and a hospital management guy only. So sitting there who is killing the patient. So the hospital management as a profession it will be really booming in the future, because now I think more and more hospitals will need more and more this managerial staff for their functioning. So I hope you guys all have a better future in this profession, and thank you for this lovely presentation. Thank you.
Actually, in addition to Anupam sir's speech, I would like to just mention people have understood people or the doctors, those who are in healthcare profession also, they have understood this is this virus just won't move away. So it will be with us only. We have to survive with this virus. We have to take medicine. We have to improve our immunity power. That is the thing. Only the way we have to live in a society. So that is why we have. It has become now a common thing that gradually it will be common phenomenon that we will be living with this coronavirus only. So it's becoming normal. And what that Anupam sir said, that they are these hospital management students are the main warrior actually. They are the people, those who face the patient first. So this is quite normal that their opportunities is increasing, and they will get more opportunities. So hospital for hospital management professionals or healthcare professionals or hospital management students, it's an opportunity actually. Opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. As you have told, the millennial generation calls it the new normal, like wearing masks, using sanitizers is the new normal of today's world. And we have to adapt to the new normal and learn to survive with the changing times. So I think our guests no more have questions, and they have also got acquainted with the quiz thing. So we will end today's session here.